That makes Lucid's own Air Grand Touring Performance the world's second most powerful sedan. California electric luxury vehicle manufacturer Lucid is launching a new performance sub-brand called Sapphire. This might seem like an odd, even unnecessary move from a company that currently sells the Air Grand Touring Performance, a 1,050 horsepower sedan that runs the quarter mile in 10 seconds flat. But here we are. The first vehicle to fall under the Sapphire umbrella has 3 motors and will be known as, big surprise, the Air Sapphire. Lucid is being tight-lipped about the actual numbers, and things will undoubtedly change before the first Sapphire is delivered about 10 months from now. But here's what's being claimed: more than 1,200 horsepower, 0 to 60 miles per hour in less than 2 seconds, 0 to 100 miles per hour in less than 4 seconds, a sub-9-second quarter mile, and a top speed in excess of 200 miles per hour. You read all that right. Gulp. How much above 1,200 horsepower are we talking? Seeing as how Lucid's already sold customers the 1,111 horsepower Air Dream Edition P, and the Sapphire has an extra motor, we're thinking much more than 1,200 horsepower. As stated, Lucid wouldn't give an exact figure. When pressed, Chief Engineer Eric Bach said the limiting factor in terms of output is the battery. After all, we know a single Lucid motor can produce up to 670 horsepower, and 670 times 3 is 2010. However, even though the Air Sapphire has an evolved version of the brand's battery management software, it still cannot supply that much peak power. Bach also pointed out it's likely the number will continue to rise before the Air Sapphire is locked for production. If we had to guess the final number, 1,350 has a nice ring to it and makes some sense in the context of the performance claims. Alas, it's just a guess. Time will tell. Big power, with big range. Time will also reveal what the Air Sapphire's range is. Lucid says it will still be more than 400 miles but less than the 446-mile range delivered by the Air Grand Touring Performance. Knowing the Tesla Model S long range is rated for 405 miles on a single charge, and knowing Lucid CEO Peter Rawlinson the way we do, we can all but guarantee the Air Sapphire will beat the best Tesla has to offer. If Lucid's Sapphire claims are true, this thing would beat the Plaid in a straight line, too. In this case, 425 miles feels like a safe bet for range. Also, and although they're probably not to everyone's liking, the Air Sapphire comes with easy-to-install aero discs. These are wool coverings, quite like what you see on the front wheels of the McLaren Speedtail, and Vice President of Design Derek Jenkins says they add tens of miles of range. The idea is that you install them at your home, drive to the track, remove them, and then go tear up some pavement. We don't know whether the aero discs will be factored into the EPA's range rating. Adding a third motor obviously increases weight, although not as much as it could, seeing as how a single motor weighs 163 pounds. However, the Sapphire blue-colored megawatt drive unit, as Lucid is calling the dual motor assembly that fits between the rear half shafts, weighs less than 2 motors on their own. The car's larger tires also add weight, as does the girthier body. The Air Sapphire's track grows by nearly an inch up front and almost 2 inches at the rear. That said, the wheels and carbon ceramic brake calipers do shed a little. We'd guess, all in, the Air Sapphire will be 200 pounds heavier than a standard Air. The Grand Touring Performance weighed 5,256 pounds on our scales. Stopping power. If your head is still spinning from the claimed acceleration and top speed numbers, know that the brakes on the Air Sapphire are pretty special. Up front you'll find massive, 16.5-inch Lucid branded and Akebono developed carbon ceramic rotors gripped by 10 piston calipers. The rears measure 15.4 inches in diameter and utilize 4 piston calipers. Also, the brake rotors use a woven continuous carbon fiber rather than the discontinuous, chopped, carbon fiber featured on most carbon brake road cars. The major benefit of a continuous carbon fiber weave is 3 times more heat conductivity, which, for a 2.5+ ton car capable of cresting 200 miles per hour, is critical. Lucid maintains that the Air Sapphire, as well as future Sapphire products, will be more than just a straight-line juggernaut. Rather, Sapphire vehicles will be fully developed performance cars. First and foremost, as the 2 motors that make up the megawatt drive aren't mechanically linked, the car has the capability to spin one motor, on the outside wheel, forward, while the other, inside wheel, begins regenerative braking. That latter part means the wheel effectively tries to spin backward, i.e., torque vectoring. Also, this next part is a little tricky, but let's say each rear motor makes on the order of 400 horsepower. To be clear, That's just a random figure, not an actual specification. When one motor goes into regen, the energy it was using is now free to flow into the forward spinning motor, creating as much as 670 horsepower. Nuts, huh? Lucid claims this sort of two-motor torque vectoring is both quicker and more effective than rear-wheel steering. Special rubber, special suspension. The Air Sapphire comes on special Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires stamped with LM1 to signify Lucid Motors. Bach claims the unique compound is a special mix of low rolling resistance rubber and Pilot Sport Cup 2 rubber. Sounds too good to be true, but here we are. The tires grow in width compared to those found on the GTP, 265/35 ZR20 front, and 295/30 ZR21 rear. The Air Sapphire suspension is completely reworked, as well. Stiffer springs, stiffer bushings, new dampers, recalibrated anti-roll bars, reprogrammed stability and traction control, new power steering control, and new ABS logic are all part of the program. Sprint mode has been replaced with Sapphire mode, Lucid's equivalent of, say, Porsche's Sport Plus. Within Sapphire mode, there will be additional features such as a launch mode, a track mode, and maybe a time attack mode. The submods are similar to how Rivian has different options within its off-road menu: all-terrain, rock crawl, drift, etc. Why Sapphire? Lucid explains that first and foremost it's a luxury brand. Sapphires are precious. Second, per international racing tradition, American cars are blue. Think the Cobra Daytona coupes at Le Mans in 1964. Third, Lucid is a California car company, and the official state gem of California is bonitoite, which would be a terrible name for anything. As it happens, people initially thought bonitoite gems were sapphires because they are visually almost identical. So, sapphire it is. As it happens, the Air Sapphire will only be available in sapphire blue. For now. We think. The car features a few more aerodynamic tricks than the standard Air, but it's hard to tell what they are from looking, especially as the Sapphire comes complete with Lucid's new stealth treatment. The interior is basically the same, with added sapphire blue contrast stitching, as well as Alcantara wrapped seats and steering wheel. How much is the Lucid Air Sapphire? How much is one of these? $249,000, says Lucid, about $70,000 more than an Air Grand Touring Performance. A small price to pay for the most powerful sedan in the world, no? Consider perhaps that a Bentley Flying Spur Mulliner W12 stickers for $309,000 and only makes a paltry 626 horsepower. When will you be able to purchase an Air Sapphire? Lucid says within days of reading this story and adds that deliveries are slated to start during the first half of 2023. When is Motor Trend going to test one? A little bit before that. Stay tuned.
We are interested in your comments. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video for more videos. Thanks for watching.